Tell me more.
It doesn't have any sides to it, but it's golden. It's going across. There's some type of small stream or river. I can walk across it. I can't see what's on the other side right now. It just looks white.
Talk a little bit louder. So,
I can't see what's on the other side. Just on the other side of it, it just looks white.
I see. Beautiful. How do you feel going to this unknown place?
It feels like a comfortable place. Not scary. I can walk over it.
And do so. Just keep walking. And keep feeling. Keep breathing.
Very sunny. I mean, there's also white fluffy clouds. But it's very bright. It's a very friendly place. There's a lot of activity. It seems very lively.
Yeah, tell me everything. Take me with you.
And there's bushes. They're very green. There's a kind of gravel road that you can just walk down. There's mountains to my left side. I'll just walk down the road, I guess.
Yes. Can you see your feet?
Yes.
Are you wearing shoes?
I'm in my bare feet.
Very good. And if you can tell me more about you, or later.
I'm just walking in my bare feet right now. I have normal human feet.
Yeah.
In the dust.
The ground, what does the ground look like?
It's like dusty. It's like yellow ground and all of the ground. It's like this bright yellow. It's all very bright, but it's like dusty too when you walk in it. But now I kind of came over like a bit of a cliff, and I see the sun is like very bright. It almost looks like it's in like Arizona or something like that.
I see.
Kind of like deserty.
And do you see, let's say, plants, animals?
I see some plants. It's just like cactuses and bushes. I don't see any animals right now. I'm just kind of walking along this path.
And do you know why you're here?
I don't know why I'm here.
And is there anything that you feel more attracted to in this place? Look around.
I see a dog. Like a brown dog. He's very friendly. He just came up to me.
Very good. So now I want you to connect with this dog and just ask whatever you like to ask.
Who are you? He says he's a guide here to speak to me.
Beautiful. So now you know what to ask next. Where he can take you.
Where can you take me? He says he can take me to the places my soul needs to see the most. If I follow him and listen.
You know what to do.
I'll follow him.
Mm-hmm. Are you still walking or you are floating?
Right now I'm walking behind him.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going to?
I'm not sure. He's saying, follow me, follow me, follow me.
Mm-hmm. And also, you can ask his name. I'm not sure him or her.
It's a he.
Uh-huh.
He says his name is George.
Mm. Very good. And ask George if your name is still Kim or a different name.
He says my soul doesn't have its own name.
I see. Tell me if there are any changes of the scenery.
It's gotten very rocky.
Mm.
I'm
So
following him up a mountain, kind of a mountain now. It's kind of gray.
I see. And without shoes, you feel okay?
Yeah, I'm still doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I have shoes on now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you have shoes. I see.
Like
What kind
boots,
of shoes?
like boots.
Mm. Can you see your legs?
Yeah, I'm wearing like jeans.
Uh-huh. I see.
But I'm trying to keep up with him. He's going fast.
Oh, I see. And also on the way to that place and ask him what is the name of this place.
He says it's Octobia.
Sounds familiar. And is this a planet?
I think so. I'm trying to. He's going fast. I'm trying to keep up.
Are you walking or running?
I'm climbing up this hill. He goes up it much faster because he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
When I can get over the top, it's difficult.
Is this a high mountain?
It is, but I just turned over the top and now everything turned very red. The ground is very red.
Wow. So it seems things are changing there.
Yeah, this looks like a different planet.
And look at yourself if you also have some changes.
My arms are like kind of red and scaly now. My feet are also really weird. They have like 3 big toes and they're kind of like claws.
I see. And you can look at yourself from the front. What do you look like?
Kind of like an ant. It's kind of weird.
How tall are you?
Pretty tall.
Like compared with a human?
Taller than a human, maybe twice as tall.
Like an ant.
Like, that's the only way I can describe it. It's like...
What's the color of your skin?
It's like a red.
I see.
It's kind of like a red ant, and then I have like these antennas and like these big eyes and...
Yeah. You have arms?
Yeah, I have arms. They're like scaly and weird. They're red.
Uh-huh. And how many fingers do you
I have 3 fingers on each arm, but I have like, I have 3 arms on each side.
3 arms on each side. Okay.
So I have
see. So you have 6 arms.
6 arms, yeah.
And so do you still see George?
I don't see him now.
So I think he already finished his job. This is the place you need to come.
Okay.
So what do you see around you?
The ground is very red. There's like a body of water, but it's like, it's not normal water. It's like black almost.
But it's liquid, like the water on Earth?
Yeah, it's liquid, and there's another creature like me. He just crawled out of it, out of the water, and he's standing in front of me.
Okay. So do you feel that you know this creature, this being? Communicate.
He says, "Of course you know me," but I don't feel like I know who he is.
Ask him to remind you.
He says, "I've been with you a long time. I'm always around."
And do you recognize him now? Feel his energy. Maybe this is someone you know in Kim's life.
Seems like someone I've known for a very long time, but I don't know. I think I know him in a different life. I don't think I know him on Earth.
Okay. So, what he can tell you? Is this the place you used to live? Or you had many lives? Why this place is important to your soul?
There was a lot of growth here. I learned a lot of things.
What did you learn?
He's saying, he's reminding me of everything we created. He and I created a lot of things together here.
Tell me everything. What did you create?
We uncovered truths about existence together.
Truths about existence?
Yes, itself.
So who is this being to you? Let's say he, who is he to you?
I don't know how to describe it. We were very, we're not, We are very important to each other. We
like soulmate.
Yes, soulmate. We know each other many lifetimes. But this is the one where we remembered so much about who we are, about existence.
If you feel emotional, let that emotion come in. It's a beautiful memory. But my question is why this being did not show up on Earth with Kim this time.
We haven't met yet. We spent a long time here.
Where?
On this planet. On this planet.
How many lives, let's say, you'll see a number?
109 lives.
Okay. So, he has the same color as you?
He's a little bit darker. He's like, I'm really red and he's kind of brown, and
I see.
it's weird because we're both really ugly by Earth standards.
The difference of the color means anything?
It's just a difference in looks, just like we have looks here on Earth, different looks.
I see. And how far is this place? Is this Octobia?
Octobia.
Octobia. Feel, how far is this place, this planet to Earth?
$55,000 light years.
50,000 light years.
Yes.
This is outside of our galaxy?
Yes.
All right, so let's focus on Octobia. What did you do here?
We remembered it was here I first remembered that life is just about, we're just here to create, so we just created.
This planet?
Not the planet, but things on it.
What did you create?
It's hard to put in words. It's hard to put in words.
So do you speak Octobia?
Yeah, we have a language. We like kind of make clicking noises at each other.
I see.
But the thoughts just come into my head, the memories. Because reality is just to have an experience. And we realize that here together for the first time.
on Octobia.
Octobia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And are there other beings like you?
Right now it's just us.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are, but we came to this like just the two of us.
Uh-huh. What else he's telling you?
We discovered the secrets of existence together.
Mm. Tell me more about this, the secret of existence.
It's so simple.
Mm.
It's just us creating something that we want to experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's the universe is conscious, seeing, reflecting itself.
Mm-hmm.
And where windows the universe looks through.
Mm.
And reality is so malleable.
Mm-hmm.
We can change it, recreate it.
Mm-hmm. Because you created it, that's why you can change it.
But everything is created by us.
Mm-hmm.
We tapped into the source here.
Mm-hmm.
The source is the creative energy
Mm.
that all of existence
Mm-hmm.
is contained of. He and I found it.
Mm.
And when you find it,
Yeah, what
you
you can do
can
with
create anything.
this? Like what?
You can be as tall or as short as you want.
Oh.
You can experience anything you want to experience. You can fly. You can swim. You can do anything because you can shift because you're the one creating it.
I see. So, on this planet, you know who you are, not like beings on Earth that we forgot who we are. Is that right? Like when you are...
He and I remembered who we were. This is where we remembered it for the first time.
Mm-hmm. And so let's say this is in the past. If we use linear time, can you find a way to describe like how long ago compared with today's year?
$90,000 years.
Uh-huh. So you discover the truth, the secret of existence, and then you just keep creating.
Because that's all there is to do is create. And we decided to create realities where we wouldn't find each other, so that we could find each other again.
That's part of the creation?
Yes. We'd be separated and we'd return to each other.
And on different places?
In different places. It's all part of the fun. It's all part of the game.
I see. What is his name?
What is your name? He has different names and different lives.
I see.
Say, what is your name right now? Ragnog.
Ragnog?
Ragnog.
Okay. And yours, let's say, in that life?
Ashlag.
Ah. So, does the name has any meaning?
It's just what we like to be called.
I see. Mm-hmm. So when you think about this, it makes you emotional? How do you feel?
It feels good to remember. Because we remembered how reality is so, at its core, it can be changed. And I knew this one so clearly.
Until you came to Earth.
Yeah.
So now you remember. And what this remembrance can help Kim to do more in this physical life. See the connections.
Because she knows that this life is just a story. It's just a creation. It's just experience you want to have. But it's just one, and you have so many.
Before and after.
Before and after. Don't worry so much because it's just one. It's one creation and it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what Kim is trying to figure out.
She knows it's just hard for her to live it all the time because life on Earth is so stressful and you're cut off from the source and from this creative energy that flows through everything. On this planet, it's around we can manipulate it with our thoughts. It's so easy to create.
But Kim chose to be here for a reason.
That's a different experience, to experience what it was like to be cut off from the source.
To be disconnected in order to
be reconnected, in order to remember.
Yes.
Because it's so much better once you remember.
What is Kim supposed to do on Earth?
Whatever she wants. That's her life to choose, to create, and shouldn't worry so much about having to do one specific thing. She'll find her way back to where she's supposed to be. She should just enjoy it more.
Relax more instead of worry.
Yes. Don't worry that you're not on the right path. Because there really isn't one. It's whatever you want it to be.
That becomes yours.
Becomes your path. Create the thing that you want to create. That's why we live.
Mm-hmm. So she is on the right path, and there's nothing for her to worry about.
We're always actually on the right path, where we're supposed to be at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense at a deeper level.
Yes. Or makes sense at the end.
At the end, at the...
Why this being, this soul chose her, Mars? What do you see?
Mars,
They had a lives before?
I think so. They knew each other before, but it was... Mars needed, he has his own path in this life, but Kim needed to learn certain things by having Mars. And she needed to be connected back into the source.
Kim?
Yes, because on Earth you're very disconnected from it, and she needed a path back, and Mars helped her find it again.
So that's why he has some psychic abilities. That's his gift, to remind her.
Yes, to bring her back. Her path back to the source.
I see. So, in a way, like he is here for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what Kim will be doing from now on? I know you probably will say she can do anything she wants.
Whatever she wants.
Yeah.
All she has to do is create and relax and create and remember. The more you remember, like, if you can just penetrate into the deepest core of physical existence, it's actually very creative. It's very malleable. It can be shaped and formed, and
the physical existence?
Yes, at its deepest level.
So how can we do that? To shape and manipulate this physical body?
The more that you embrace, the more that you accept, and become content with everything right now, being exactly how it's supposed to be. The more that you trust in the universe that this is unfolding exactly how it's supposed to.
So then the magic happens.
Everything becomes more malleable, more... Everything becomes more susceptible to rearrangement according to how we want it to be.
So it seems that we just need to allow ourselves.
Yes, yes, allow ourselves.
Instead of reject, resist, or control.
Yes, stop trying to control the outer circumstances.
But so this is it's also hard to do, but what is harder is to trust.
Yes, it's hard to trust when you're on Earth. When you're on Earth, you're so disconnected, and you want things to be different, and you're worried about material things and...
Yes. Can you just explain this part? I asked many times, but we believe if we don't work, we'll not be able to make a living, to survive. What do you say about surviving?
I mean, everyone can survive. There's so much abundance on Earth. People don't see what's right in front of them. There's more than enough for everyone. It's not scarce. It's an abundant and beautiful planet. You know, but you need very, very little to survive. You know, you breathe and you eat, and you just need a little bit of shelter, but there's so little that you actually need, and people just are so convinced that you need so material things, and so you need money, and you need all these items, but its existence is really very simple, even on Earth. People make it much too complicated.
But if we're in a system, let's say living in New York City is a very expensive place to just pay the rent. So if we don't want to, if we don't work or do something we like to do, then the only way to be able to keep going is move to a different place. Or that's not the case. As long as we follow, let's say, our highest excitement, we always will be able to make it.
Yes, if you're following your highest excitement, you know, the universe will support you, but just not necessarily in always the ways that you think. Things will come together. Like, you can even live in New York City, but you might have to be creative. You have to be open to possibility, and you have to realize that you don't really need that much, not nearly as much as you think you need.
If we just follow our passion, and the universe will support us.
Yes, the universe will support you in one way or another. That's what people are missing sometimes. It's not always money. It doesn't have to come in the form of money. It can come in other ways. You have to be open to those possibilities, but the universe will support you in the way that you need to be supported.
So, something before I forget. So what is really going on with Kim, that sometimes she wake up like between 3 to 4 a.m. and she feel this kind of weird pain from her hands. So what's going on?
It's energy that's trying to come out. There's so much that's like trapped inside of her, because there's this beautiful creative energy that she had mastered when on Octobia, she knew how to use that energy. Like, she could manipulate it so easily. It's that same energy, but on Earth, it's like it's so blocked, and it's trying to come out. That's what it is. It's that creative energy that's. But, you know, on Earth, we're so out of touch with it that it just manifests as pain because we don't know how to embrace it. We don't know how to tap into it, but that's what it's trying. It's that energy trying to come out.
So what she can do with this energy?
Embrace it. You know, remember that it's there to help her create things. Just let it come out, let it flow, and stop being so obsessed over, you know, am I on the right path, am I on the wrong path, because there isn't one. Just let that energy flow through you, and then create what you want.
Can we say the best way to let energy flow naturally is to trust?
Trust yourself, trust the universe, but also just relax, let it come, let it flow, let it appear.
And how about worries? I say constant worry about Mars.
It's natural in human form. You want what's best for your child, so it's just in human form, you always kind of you're detached from source. You can't be directly with it in the way you can in some other places. So when you feel that threat of non-existence, that of something bad happening to you or something bad happening to your child, like that feeling is always there because you don't have this direct connection with the creative source. And so
how we can detach from this, these worries? What's the best way for us to practice?
Listen very, very deeply to what's going on inside you, and listen to stillness. Just tap into the deepest parts deepest part of yourself, and you have to know at a very deep level that everything is unraveling the way it's supposed to. And it's hard to see that from the limited human vantage point, but it's the truth. And it's how do you I mean, if you forget who you are, then you're going to worry. But if you remember who you are, that you are creative source energy, that all that you see is your own creation,
right?
And that this is all a situation that you created, and this experience you wanted to have. So what is there to worry about?
So let's say if there's a challenge, and so we can say to ourselves that this is something I created for myself, to learn a lesson from it. Absolutely.
Our entire life is something that it's an experience that we wanted to have, that we created it, we chose it, we go through it, and we
But why, just before I forget, so why life on Earth is designed so like as this kind of a very challenging physical life? Why it has to be this hard?
We made it this hard. We wanted, there's all kinds of existences that you can have. You can have easy ones. You can have ones where you're very closely connected to the source and to the creative energies, and you can have some that you're very disconnected from it, and it's. But when you're disconnected and it's that hard, then when you find it again, it's so much deeper.
Rewarding.
It's the reward, the payoff is so much greater when you return.
Is Earth the most disconnected planet in the universe from the source?
It's very disconnected from source, but there's others that are even more disconnected. It's just, this at different stages of evolution, as planets evolve, they become more closely connected to the source. So Earth is moving that way. It's evolving, and it's, people are waking up. They're going to become more deeply connected. And that's what evolution is. So, Earth is on an evolutionary path. It's going to become more connected.
So Earth is doing well.
It's where it's supposed to be. I mean, it's
our technology is more advanced than our consciousness level.
I don't understand your question.
So I'm saying that when it comes to technology, do you see that is in a way more is moving forward ahead of our consciousness level?
In ways it is, yes. And, it's possible, our technology has to merge with our consciousness. In extraterrestrial consciousness, they know how to operate technology with their minds. And we can do that, we just don't know how yet, because we don't, you have to accept at a very, very deep level that consciousness is the creator of reality, and that matter is really a product of consciousness, not the other way around. And so, we can control the physical world, and we can control technology through consciousness. It's all there, the potential's within us. It's just humans haven't figured that out yet.
So the technology is created by our consciousness.
Yes. And it can also be controlled by it.
So just we don't see that connection yet.
Yeah, we don't see it yet. The scientists, they think that consciousness comes from the brain, but it doesn't. Yes. They're so hung up on that, they don't understand that consciousness is eternal.
So is the brain, the function of the brain is just to kind of store things?
The brain is like a receiver, a transmitter. It circulates our thoughts. It consciousness comes in, and it interprets, and it transmits it, but it's not coming from the brain. That's not where consciousness comes from.
Right. I see. So Kim, she has some sort of, let's say in this physical life on Earth, she has connections with extraterrestrials, let's say when she's sleeping.
Yes, they've been around. They
What's going on?
They think it's funny that she's so upset, that she's so worried about it, because they see her all the time when she's sleeping, when she's awake,
So how they communicate with her?
They just observe. They don't really communicate. They
don't interfere.
Yeah, they don't interfere, but they.
What do you see?
They've seen her many times, and it's funny that she's like so concerned about it. Well,
because she wants to connect it with them.
she does. She wants to connect, and she doesn't realize that they're right there, like, all the time.
Like there, where?
like right by her. Like, you know, they're in her room, they're in her apartment, they're everywhere that she's been. They've
so who
seen
are they?
her.
What kind of a?
The Greys.
I see.
But they don't show themselves, but they're around.
So, but why they're in her rooms? Like, what's the purpose?
Just checking up on her.
Because she was one of them before?
The Greys and the humans are all very closely connected. They're same evolutionary track, and you know, the Greys had a different version of Earth, but they're humanoid. So they.
I see.
But they, I mean, they're
very concerned about us.
They want us to evolve, and they
what they do, like what they can do to kind of assist with this ascension.
I mean, they give information. They also help alter the DNA, because we need, you know, to truly become more connected with Source. You know, we're so disconnected at the moment, but to become more connected, there has to be genetic alterations, and so they help with that.
So how do they do that?
When you're sleeping, they make little changes. So yeah, sometimes sometimes they're interfering. A lot of times they're just kind of checking up, seeing how things are. And, you know, they can make little changes here and there.
They can make changes that is not against it, that people on Earth, we have free will. So.
It's not interfering with their free will. It's just, it's like helping a little bit. It's opening neural pathways that weren't open before. So it's, you know, like these little modifications. It actually increases like psychic abilities. It makes you a little bit more connected, and so they, you know, they make those little alterations for humans, but they can't do a lot, but they do a little bit.
So let's say if they do some alteration, and when we're sleeping, so when we wake up, what's the difference we can feel? Like we feel, oh, I feel good.
You might feel a little bit more clear. Or you might realize something during the day that you didn't realize before. Or you might, you know, it's clarity is what it is. It's like having the connection with the Source just be more clear. And so maybe you wake up, you feel lighter, or you feel less interference or less fuzzy. That's those subtle changes happening, very subtle.
And so, what Kim can do that to be able to feel her trust, or be able to trust her intuition more?
She knows what to do. Like she. She gets the messages. It just.
She ignores them.
She ignores, or she just doesn't tap into them. She doesn't trust herself that she's hearing them. Is the thing. It's like she gets too caught up in the mind, analyzing. Is this a message? Is this not the message? And it's, you know, it's.
So what made us become like this? The society, and it's also just part of the experience of being human. That's when we created this experience. That's part of what we chose. So tell me more about this mind. What's the mind's purpose?
The mind, I mean, you need it to survive in physical reality.
To, how to say, to be protected. It's like to tell us what not to do, so we will not be hurt.
Yeah, it serves that function, of course, And it's also, you need the mind to anchor yourself in physical reality. You can't survive without it. It's part of how consciousness expresses itself on Earth is through the mind. But the problem, the mistake, is that people think that the mind is all that there is, and that's their only, connection, and that's the only place where knowledge lies, and it's somehow identical to their being, but it's not. It's part of who you are on Earth, but it's not. It's not the whole self.
It's our small self.
It is. It's kind of the simplest form of existence on Earth is through the mind. It likes to make itself very, very important, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's important. It serves a role, but it's not the most. It's not the only thing you need, or the best thing. You got your soul expresses itself or wants to express itself. Your soul is kind of there, just like it wants to express itself creatively all the time, and it's like the mind is saying no, no, no. It's dampering, or it's questioning, or it's stifling the soul's creative potential, and your soul is in there, and your soul is like pure creative energy, and it wants to create. Just relax and let it, and don't let the mind stifle it.
So instead of going to the mind or be caught up in the mind, so we just need to feel, follow our intuition.
Yes, follow your intuition. But it's following your intuition, but it's also letting the creative energy of the universe just flow out of you.
So when you say that, what we can do to really allow that happen?
It's a feeling. It's how to put it in words.
Instead of try to control.
Yes, you can't try to control. You have to stop trying to control anything about anything external in your experience. So stop trying to force things to happen, because they're going to unravel the way they're going to unravel. But you can let that perfect creative energy flow through you to kind of manifest as the particular thing that you want to be and that you're supposed to be in this life. But you've got to. It's like a deep sense of knowing what you truly are and who you truly are, because you are source. That's what you are. It's what everyone is. And if you remember that, and you just kind of let it flow through you, and it does. It comes through your chakras, your heart chakra, and your solar plexus. That's really where that creative energy can flow out. So, I mean, she was talking to her guides recently, and they were saying, listen to your gut and listen to your heart, but because that's where that creative energy flows, is through the heart and through the stomach. It doesn't flow through the mind. That's where, when you think creativity, human beings, they think about being creative in the mind, but the creative energy comes through the gut and through the heart. That's where it is, and you just let it flow through there and see where it pulls you.
Right. And so the mind cannot generate ideas. Is that true?
I mean, it has ideas, but it's not good ideas. It's like fears. It's like things that it comes up with. It's not creative ideas. It's not. It's not anything that's like flowing directly from the source. It's like the mind is. Things that originate in the mind are usually fear-based.
So why is like that? So let's say if we think about the past, we don't go to the good memories. Usually we go to something that can make us feel more negative.
Yes.
So why it's this way?
Negative experiences imprint themselves more deeply on the mind, and then the mind reproduces them over and over because it's
that's all the mind can do.
Right, and these painful experiences are very deeply imprinted on it, and it just wants to relive them and play them out over and over again.
To kind of protect that person.
Right. And the past is there to inform us, but when we have really great things that happened to us in the past, we don't sit there and turn those over and over and over again. It's just like we take this one bad thing that happened, and then the mind just is over and over and over again, wants to replay it, and it's...
So that's just the nature of the mind.
That's the nature of the mind. It grasps onto, the negative, and then wants to play it out over and over.
So in a way, to play safe, to tell the person don't do those things, because you have risk.
Yes, but in some ways, yes. But it's also... If it's like the ego. So the ego, if it feels it was wronged, if it feels, this shouldn't have happened to me, this person did this thing to me, they shouldn't have done that, then the ego it's injured, and so the ego just keeps replaying that over and over and over, that injury is just, and, if you have to try, if you want to become more connected with the source, you have to just let that ego die, but you also have to stop, you have to stop identifying so much with the ego. Like, it doesn't matter if someone disrespected you 10 years ago. It doesn't.
But that was also created by us, that event.
It was an experience that you had, and it was, it was part of the experience that you created for yourself on Earth. And turning it over and over again like it was this negative thing, and how dare that happen, it's not serving any good purpose. So you just...
So what is the question is, what is the purpose of the ego? Why ego exists?
So the ego, in order to have an individual experience on Earth, you need some sense of the ego, or you couldn't have an individualized Earth-bound experience, because part of being an Earthling at this moment is having ego. So if you didn't have ego, you wouldn't be having a full Earth experience.
So this interference, right, in a way, it looks like it's an interference. So this is necessary for us to have earthly experience.
Yes, the current experience that we have on Earth, it contains ego. You have a more enjoyable experience if you can quiet the ego and, find your way back to source. But you can't have a human experience with no ego at all. If you had that, it wouldn't be a human experience. It would be something else.
So ego is the production of the mind?
Ego is...
a byproduct? What do you say?
I wouldn't say it's a byproduct. It's a projection. It's a projection of the mind, but it's also kind of what we need to anchor ourselves as an individual in on Earth, in an individual life. But the issue is, the problem comes. It's fine to be individuated as a self. The problem comes when the ego is a sense of separation from others, or it's a way of feeling superior to others, and it's really just, its only purpose is supposed to be there for you to kind of have an individual sense of identity on Earth in this life.
It's about the small self.
Yes, yes. And when it's playing its role properly, it's just helping you, be anchored have a personality and an identity here on Earth. Like that's its role, but it just can become very inflated, and it can be, you know, if you identify only with ego, if you think that's all you are, you can become very self-centered. You can become very isolated from others, think you're superior to others, and so you have to remember that, okay, ego is just something that anchors me to my earth existence and kind of individuates me, but it's not your whole self, and it's there to make you a distinct individual who's different from others, but
that's it.
That's it, and it's not to make you better. You know, it's not to separate. It's not to make you feel actually separated, because everybody really is one. You know, it's all part of the one, the all, the source.
Yes.
But to be individuated on Earth, part of the Earth experience, you need some ego.
Do we have to make some sort of agreement to have this individuality before we came to Earth?
Yes, it was agreed as part of the Earth experience. You couldn't, when you were coming to Earth, you agreed that, you know,
that you're gonna, you know, feel this individuality and also forget about who you are.
Right, absolutely. That you're going to become a particular individual with a particular identity, and you're not going to remember your connection to Source.
So what is the purpose for someone who will not be able to become awakened in this physical life? What is so the soul will have its experience anyway?
It's an experience they otherwise wouldn't have had. You know, it's not everybody wants to be awakened. Sometimes they just want to live an ordinary human life.
So that's also part of the soul agreement?
Yes.
So why not? Why not, you know, become awakened? Why the soul would decide to say, no, this life I'll have a just normal human life?
For contrast, you know, everything is about contrast.
So the soul will learn its lesson anyway. I mean, not lesson, just will have the experience.
Yeah, it was having the experience that it wanted to have. And, you know, if you spend a whole lifetime isolated from Source, then again, when you leave the body, you're reconnected, and you remember, and so it's, you still get that feeling of being reunited again with the Source. But you had that particular experience of being isolated.
So then the joy is even bigger.
Absolutely.
So when we're on Earth, so where is the joy and peace? Where is the joy and peace is really from? I know it's from knowing who we truly are. What do you say?
Where do joy and peace come from?
What we do can really achieve that.
You soften yourself to the will of the universe, because the will of the universe is your will. You chose it. It's one and the same. You know, you just remember that you're having an experience that you chose to have, and it's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be enjoyable, and it's supposed to be funny and light. And so, yeah, if you can harness that.
So can you say that we're supposed to feel joy and peace all the time?
Ideally, yeah. I mean,
because everything that happens that stop us feeling that way is just some sort of things that we created.
We created, but you know, we create situations of sorrow. We've created situations of pain, because those are experiences too that we need to have. You know, they're contrasts.
But the events are not real. What is real is what we can, how we can, look at it.
Well, everything is real. Everything is an experience. Everything happens. I mean, it's all real in some way. It's.
But how about the pain?
It's an experience that you have. It's a feeling that you have, and it's. I mean, it's unpleasant, it's undesirable, but we created it for a reason. If to know true joy, to know true, that true sense of deep peace, you have to know the opposite too. You can't, if you just have pure joy all the time, you won't recognize it as such.
You will not even understand what joy
Right,
is.
you won't understand what it is. You need the contrast, so you need that pain. We created it to have this.
So it's really about you would not know who you are without knowing who you are not.
Yes, yeah, yes.
So we're really experiencing who we're not on Earth, and Earth is a perfect place to have this contrast.
Yes, absolutely.
So in a way, we're all courageous souls to be here.
All souls are courageous for sure, but all souls are part of the one, the all, and when you realize yourself as simultaneously an individual, but also the whole, the one, that's kind of the true. That's the deepest truth, is being one and all at the same time.
So is that also, we can say, where joy and peace is from? It can be from helping others, to be service to others.
Absolutely.
Because you're helping yourself.
Absolutely. When you help others, you help yourself. When you help yourself, you help others. Because it's all you, it's all us, it's all them. It's all just part of this beautiful creation that the Source made, that we made. Don't think of yourself as something different, separate from the Source.
And when we see something unpleasant, something we don't prefer, that's just, it's just experience. It's not something that we can, how to say, we need to be so caught up in that situation.
Yeah, it was an experience like any other, and you needed to experience it, but you don't have to relive it and suffer it over and over. It was, you needed to go through it at a time.
And if you let it go, then you don't see that it's really a problem or issue.
But truly letting it go it's just realizing that it's part of the creation that you made, and it's an experience that you wanted to have. And so letting it go is really just embracing it as part of the whole, loving it as much as you love all other parts of creation, all other aspects of creation.
Because there's nothing not to let it go. So when you hold on to some energies, let's say if you cannot forgive someone, you're holding that energy back. Yes, yeah. If you won't forgive, you have a grudge. That's an energy that you're keeping, and you're, it's none of it's good or bad in any objective sense, but it's negative to the extent that you're going to be holding yourself back. You're not going to be enjoying as much because you kind of just have this this energy weighing you down, this grudge weighing you down against a person. And so then a lot of people ask, if someone does a lot of bad, let's say on Earth we see them as a bad things, right? Steal, killing. So what do you say about those soul? Is this like we can say, oh, the soul has a different type of agreement. The soul wants to learn different lessons. Yeah, it's all part of that soul's particular path, and if that soul is being cruel to others on Earth, that's
when you cause pain to others, you're ultimately causing pain to yourself. So the soul is going to learn a lesson from that. That if you're putting out pain towards other people, that's ultimately harmful for yourself. And so,
in a way, that's a bigger lesson for them to learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important lesson to learn. That any pain you cause to another person is ultimately pain that you cause to you. And so we can look at what they did and judge it as wrong, but it's not necessarily that it was wrong from the level of creation, because creation doesn't judge, creation just creates. But that soul is learning a lesson. It's learning that the pain, if you put out pain, you're going to get pain back. If you put out beauty and love and trust and joy and good things, that's what's going to come back to you.
So what do you say about, let's say, those plants, psychedelics, that it can help people to heal and to also become awakened? What do you say about those plants?
Yeah, they're gifts from the earth. They're here to help people remember. They're very useful tools to help people tap back into the source and remember. But
they're helpers.
They're helpers, yeah. But ideally, someone shouldn't be having to use them all the time. They're just kind of there as an aid, because we can tap into this energy. That's what you want to be able to do, is to be able to tap into the creative energy without.
So we can definitely do that.
Yeah, but it comes from a very deep sense of knowing. You just have to know that. You have to know that this is what creation is, that this is what reality is. It's you can feel so connected at times.
So it's something that can assist us at the beginning, but eventually we can do it without.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So there's a saying, like, I'm not sure from where, but I also heard, like, if the person, let's say, on Earth is not having a relationship with another person, it's a romantic partner, so that, how to say, the relationship can strengthen the person's energy, or doesn't. That's not always the case.
It depends on the relationship, because if it's a bad relationship, then the energy is much worse. It's to truly be, each soul on its own has to be flourishing, complete, full of love. If two complete souls that are they know deeply within themselves who they are, and they want to come together, they can enhance each other, and they might enhance this experience on Earth. But relationships aren't, we all are in relationships all the time, but romantic relationships, they're not inherently good or bad. They're just a type of relationship that you can have, and they can be very, they can be the most intense relationships that we have in our lives. But that can be for better or for worse. If it's a negative relationship or it's a bad match, then that really drags a person's energy down.
Yes. Another thing I like to ask is, sometimes we don't know the thoughts or some sort of ideas are from the soul or from the mind. So what do you say? What we can know? Oh, this is from my mind. This is from my higher self.
Thoughts that come from the higher self will always be on the side of love and on the side of creation. The higher self does not produce fear-based thoughts.
So it's more is something that make you expand, make you do more.
If it's thoughts that make you feel more connected with others and more connected with yourself, and more deeply at peace, you know, with the universe, that's coming from your higher self.
So all the fearful thoughts are always from the mind.
Yeah, and thoughts of separation, or thoughts of, you know, separating ourselves from others, or the fear of others, others are bad. That's created by the mind. It's an illusion.
It doesn't exist, but it has been created by the mind.
Yes. Separation is an illusion created by the mind.
Who I'm speaking with right now? Kim's higher self?
Yeah, Kim's higher self. I mean, you're trying to phrase it into words because it's you're speaking to the source, but as it's mediated through Kim, and
it's a source energy extension.
Yes.
That's who we are.
That's who everybody is. It's just extensions of the source energy, and this is a channel of source energy that's speaking to you. I think that's the best way to put it. It's you know, some they might say, oh, it's God speaking. It doesn't matter what you call it, but it's the creative life source energy and it's being channeled through a particular voice.
So what Kim can do to be able to easily channel her higher self?
I mean, she is channeling it all the time.
But just sometimes she doesn't believe.
Yes, she doesn't believe it. She thinks she's disconnected, but she's connected, and
you just need to trust more.
She needs to trust because, you know, everyone is around her all the time.
Her guides.
Her guides and the source, and
how about her soul family?
Her soul family.
So who is those soul family members here?
On Earth? I mean, she's got Mars.
Wow.
She's got Antonio. She's got Patrick and her friend Melissa. Those are souls that she's supposed to meet here on Earth, and Katie and Erica, and she knows that she has them.
She has quite a few.
Yes, absolutely. She thinks that she's isolated. She feels isolated a lot, but she has people. She just you both can help each other in that way, and you know, you both have different strengths that you can share, but together you can help kind of get this information out there, because I mean, this information is so powerful once people have it. If they can remember, it can make extreme changes in people's lives, and it can raise the frequency and vibration of planet Earth and of humankind. So yeah, you're both supposed to work together to spread the message.
Very good. So what do you say, different strength, let's say, what, if you can give us more details, so we know what we can focus on?
I mean, Kim is very analytical, and she has a lot of connection to she knows the world of academic thinking, of scientific thinking, and how she knows how people who are disconnected for those reasons, she knows how they think. And some people who are skeptical of certain things, you know, they're skeptical for certain reasons, and she understands what those are, and so she can maybe facilitate those connections. And you know, she's good at packaging information in ways that the people who need to hear it can receive it. Because sometimes a message is there, but you use certain language, you use certain terms, people are going to turn away from it. So she's good at how can we put this message and frame it in a way that people are going to be receptive to it.
Wrap it up.
Right. But Naomi is it's important for Kim to be balanced by Naomi, because Naomi is much more in touch with her intuition, and she's not in touch with, she's not constrained, you know, by kind of this academic sense, or the skepticism, or the world that, you know, the professional world, or the scientific world, or just the way that people are constrain themselves and like don't want to trust what's there, and don't want to trust their own intuition, and don't want to trust the universe. You know, Naomi doesn't have that. She's very trusting of herself and her intuition, and just isn't held back by fear of what other people think, or just fear in general.
So what is the reason that I have that quality?
You already know the reason.
I'm not too sure.
You're supposed to help others. You're supposed to heal other people, and you know, you're an example of how people can live if they make the choice to live that way. You know, and we need people who aren't held back by fear, and you're not, and you know, when you radiate that particular energy out into the world, it's going to help heal other people.
I feel this urge more and more, stronger and stronger every day. Sometimes I'm scared of myself.
Scared of yourself?
Like, am I going to just, you know, like there's almost every moment I'm thinking about this. And it becomes, this desire to spread the message out becomes stronger and stronger every day. So
you're definitely serving your individual purpose when you spread the message. But don't let it prevent you also from enjoying your life on Earth, because you're also here to enjoy and have fun. So don't become too obsessed with it, that you know that's all that you're thinking about, and you're not enjoying. But you're definitely your you know, this experience that you chose here on Earth. You chose it knowing that you were going to be a messenger, and that you were going to help connect people and help them remember. And but you're living that every day.
And it's also I feel it's not very easy for someone like me who doesn't have many or at all human lives before. Is this true for people who did not have many human lives on Earth?
Is what true?
Is that it can be easier or harder for people who don't have many human lives on Earth before?
It can be easier or harder. For some, it can be harder because it can be easier because you're not carrying around karma from past human lives and pain from past human lives. So in that way, it can be easier. But it's also you're adjusting to being on Earth in a physical body, and it's it's a hard adjustment. So it can be more difficult in some ways too.
And how many lives, human lives, Kim had on Earth?
On Earth, she had 27.
Uh-huh. And again, what is the specific reason that she chose to become this time?
I mean, what reason is there to choose to be anybody?
Mm.
She wanted to have this particular experience. I mean, that's really the... She wanted to live this particular kind of life. And and create this particular version of herself. That's really it. It's seeing creation and seeing the universe through one particular lens, and she wanted to see it through this lens. And she knows deep down that...
What? Sorry, go ahead.
She knows deep down that anything she creates or anything she experiences is what it's supposed to be.
So this particular version of herself doesn't have a specific reason. It's just to have this this experience this time.
I mean, she's definitely a light worker. She's here to help other people also wake up.
Yes.
You know, and to help others and to spread the message. And, you know, so she knew she was going to wake up in this lifetime. When she chose this life, it was, okay, this is a life you're going to be awakened in. And, because
sorry, the other, was it 27 or 26 lives? So there are many lives she was not awakened?
She was not awakened in the other 26. So this was the first lifetime on Earth that she awakened. So it's hard when you're waking up for the first time. So that's why, you know, she has a lot of doubts, and she's constantly questioning, and she, you know, it's hard. But it's, she's on the right path. She's doing the right thing. She just needs to remember that, I mean, there is no set life path for her. It's what she chooses, and if she's always choosing right if she chooses on the side of love, and on the side of creation, and on the side of unification and connecting to others, connectedness rather than separation. Those are the only choices that we really need to make. It's, you know, how do we choose more love every day? How do we feel more connected to others every day? I mean, those are the only choices that we have to make. And if we're doing that, then we're serving our purpose. We're helping humanity evolve.
Then we'll feel joy and peace.
And yes, and we feel joy and peace, and, you know, we feel connected, and we feel like we're exactly what we're supposed to be.
I forgot what I was going to ask. So there's any other lives that you think is necessary for me to take her, or any other moments?
We took her to the most important moment. Because that was the moment that she, you know, that was the lifetime that she remembered and became very deeply connected. And, you know, the other, we can show her other things, but it's also, you have to let things unfold and be surprised by them. Because that's part of living a human life, is being surprised. And it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. If you know everything, then it takes the experience out of it.
Right. So there's nothing particular that I need to take her to today?
You took her to the place she needed to go.
Okay. And is there anything that Of course, I have so many more things to ask. Actually, this we're all concerned about the negative energies on Earth. So, what do you say about this?
Negative energies are there serving their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't get bogged down by them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them be.
Mm-hmm.
And send your love towards them. If you're experiencing a negative energy, just extend love to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, love is the fundamental law of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there's a negative energy there, you just say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no reason to be afraid of it. It's there serving its own purpose, doing what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's it. There's nothing to be afraid of.
There's nothing to be afraid of. There's different types of beings. There's different types of energies. There's
and if they are here, they were allowed.
Yeah, of course. Of course, they're allowed to be here. There's not some grand battle between good and evil. People like to frame it that way, like, oh, there's the side of the light and there's the side of the evil and there's this battle going on. But no, they're all allowed to be here. They're all part of the evolutionary process. And part of waking up, part of evolving is understanding that. It's all here serving the purpose it's supposed to serve, and none of it's...
Because they are making Earth.
Exactly. It wouldn't be Earth without them.
Again, what kind of a psychic ability that Kim can develop?
She's never going to be as psychically connected as she wants to be, but, you know, she can...
What kind of a healing modality that you think that she really fits?
She's a teacher, and she knows that. In terms of healing, it's, you know, she's her gift and her talent is really just talking to people and explaining things to them. So it's like a healing modality is... I mean,
leave it to Naomi.
I mean, she could, she's very intelligent, so, you know, if she wanted to learn hypnosis, she could do that, or she can learn Reiki healing and those kind of things. Like, she can learn that if she wants to, but she's, most naturally, she's just very good at teaching and talking, and, you know, she's also very skilled at writing, and so kind of getting some of these ideas out there in writing is really important for her. And that will actually, you know, if she's writing about this stuff, it can reach more people.
I see. All right. Is there anything else that you want to let her know that I did not ask?
That everything's okay.
She doesn't have anything to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. Just enjoy. Your life's going to unfold the way it's supposed to unfold.
The more she enjoys, the more it will unfold.
Yes, and the more that you relax, embrace, enjoy, everything's going to flow. That creative energy is going to flow, and you're going to... everything's going to unfold exactly like it's supposed to.
Beautiful. So I thank you for this communication. And now I want Kim to listen to my words, and I want you to just focus on your physical body and use your spiritual vision to take a look and tell me if there are any places, any part of this body that has energies that either you feel heavy or you feel that they're just making you feel uncomfortable. If there are any.
I mean, there's some energies in her, and at the ends of both of her arms.
Arms?
Yeah.
The end? The arms?
Yeah, I mean like the hands and the lower arm.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what those energy make you feel?
I mean, they're just heavy. You feel weighted down.
So do you know what this energy represents?
It represents fear and distrust.
Distrust?
Yeah, distrust and doubt.
I see. And where are they from originally?
Everything is from the source.
I understand. I'm saying that this distrust and fear, or how to say, it was originated from.
In Kim or in general? Are you talking about fear and distrust in Kim, or you're talking about the energies in general?
In your hands, in your arms.
Just years of doubt, years of feeling that you weren't good enough, that having that kind of put in your head over and over when you're growing up, and
I see.
You start to carry that around, feeling inadequate, and then just feeling like things aren't going the way they're supposed to be going.
I see. And that's it, besides the energy in your hands, and nothing else? Take another look.
Everything else looks good.
That's good. That's good. So now, it's the exciting moment that I'm going to take you to a place that is very special to you, and this is the place you can transform those energies and to receive the healing and feel lighter. And I'm going to count from 1, 2, 3. On the count of 3, you will be at this healing place that is somewhere in the universe, but it's the most relevant place to you. And now I'm going to count 1. We're going to that beautiful healing place, and you feel very excited to be there. 2. You are floating to that place, getting very, very close. And 3. Now you are here. You are at this place. What do you see or feel?
I'm in like a tent, and it's...
Tent?
Yeah, but it's just... There's a beautiful lotus flower. It just feels very peaceful.
It's a big tent?
Yeah, it's like... It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a, when you're at like a, those healing retreats, like in Thailand or something.
And do you see people, beings?
Yeah, I see some beautiful beings. They look kind of like Buddha.
Describe it.
I mean, There's just like a female being in front of me. She's very beautiful, but she,
Let's find out her name.
Sarah.
What she's wearing.
Like a silver kind of robe. But she's not really like a human. She has like a weird face. It's like a face kind of like a flower and kind of like a bug at the same time.
And let's see what she uses to help you with those energies.
She just says all you have to do is release it. It's just a choice. She says release the energies and they'll leave.
And do you know how to do that? Try. Keep releasing. And keep breathing. Do you feel the difference?
I feel lighter.
You can see the energies has been released.
It's been released.
And where does the energy go?
Back into the source.
To be recycled?
Yeah. Energy never, it can't be destroyed. Just changes.
So this being, this Sarah, let's find out how you're related to her, how she knows you.
She said she's just a being that I created to help release this energy.
You just know how to create.
The soul knows how to create. So this creative energy is...
And also you created this place.
Yes, I created this place. I created her. All as a way of helping me release and remember and become reconnected with Source.
And do you see anything else in the tent? There are other beings.
No, it's just me and her.
Anything else you want to let me know? So when you finish, then you know when to leave this place.
Okay.
Just make sure there's nothing else left in the body. Yes, you're complete.
Yes.
Very good. So now, before I take you back to this reality, is there anything else you want to know, you want to do?
No.
Very good. All right. So now it's time for us to travel back to this time, this place, and this reality. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. On the count of 5, you'll be back and feeling wonderful. 1. So now we're leaving that realm and we're coming back slowly and peacefully. 2. And now you understand when you're back to this reality, everything that you experienced will be able to integrate it into this life. And the place as Octobia is a very important place for your soul, for you to have this remembrance, to remember who you truly are. And 3. Now you started hearing the sounds inside of the room and the sounds outside of the room. 4. You're coming back very nicely. And 5. Feeling wonderful all over. You can start moving your arms. Welcome back. Some of it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's hard.